All right, good morning. Welcome back to Daybreak on this 24th day of June 2019. It's now what time? It's 1 minute past 8 o'clock. We are here to talk to the Senate Majority Leader of Majority, Kipchumba Murkomen. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you very much.
And Karibu Sana to the show. Here to talk about the various matters that have been happening within the Jubilee Party and, of course, also in Parliament. And, of course, we have seen quite... what do I say? Quite a busy week, and the week before, of a very angry president, of course, now appearing in Eldoret on a different tone. I just want to understand what is the current state of the Jubilee Party, bearing in mind what you've seen the past 10 days or so.
Well, the Jubilee Party is a strong party, the biggest party in the country with the largest number of elected leaders, both in every sphere, whether it's the Senate, National Assembly, county assemblies, governorship. So, and Jubilee Party is bigger than its officials. When people discuss the state of Jubilee Party, they usually focus on Jubilee Party officials and Jubilee meetings and Jubilee PG. But it must be remembered that we have a huge following. We have... and I can tell you that the party is very strong and united, and that the people of Kenya, despite the challenges we are going through, have continued to give Jubilee Party a very strong support. And at the moment, I think it is the Jubilee Party that is on the receiving end from the people of Kenya because of the expectation of fulfillment of our manifesto. But our party as an institution itself is a strong party. How
do you say a strong party at a time that you have a Secretary General who is wanted out by some of the leaders? We saw Oscar Sudi, we saw Aaron Cheruiyot, and several others speaking against the Secretary General, and a soundbite that is said to be a conversation between him and a former member of parliament in Kiambu County.
I think it's an unhealthy conversation about management and leadership of the party. The members and elected and also the public expect a lot from the party, the vibrancy of the party. I have said in this show before that, we are in a competition. And when our members see that our competitors are meeting, they're having a conversation, they're having a discussion, they're planning, preparing themselves for the next elections, they have a vibrant party that meets its members, meets all the time. It is obviously, as a matter of fact, desirous that they caution the party and the management of the party from sleeping, because we are in competition. Whereas public officers, state officers and other public officers are supposed to be busy delivering on the manifesto of the party, it's the duty of the party to prepare for the next elections. And it must always have proper structures in place. Number two, I think the Secretary General finds himself in a very complicated situation. Complicated in the sense that he has to balance between his personal interest as a politician, former member of parliament, and with aspirations in politics, from a region maybe where the party is not so popular, and also balancing the desire to ensure that the party remains strong, but also balancing the desire for competition in future within the party, whether presidential or local. And I think what really angered many people is the leaked conversation between him and Honorable Nyanja.
Do you believe it's him?
Well, it is, because I can tell you how it happened. It's actually a matter of fact that the conversation took place. And where the clip came from was Nyanja was having a press conference. And unfortunately, out of clumsiness, he made a phone call to SG Tuju when the cameras were still rolling, and recordings of radio people and TV people were still there. So from just one of the journalists just stumbled on the audio. And so because of course, this country feared being harassed and so forth, he just released that video. And I think, Nyanja was excited. When you have been in the cold for a long period of time, he was excited to be talking to the Secretary General of another party without even caring that some of the things he was conversing were supposed to be private somewhere. So that recording is not debatable. It's, of course, a privileged conversation between two people, which ordinarily should not have come public, because I know in political circles, there are many people saying many things that they would be very ashamed if those things were broadcasted to the public.
But let me ask you,
can I conclude with that story? That I think it was God's will that story comes out so that it can forewarn some of the people that had put a lot of trust on the SG about the impending plans of the SG, and so that even when the members are going for elections in March next year, they are aware of the person who is managing their party, his intentions, his focus, his likes and dislikes.
But why are the members of parliament so angry with that conversation, with the content of that conversation?
Because would you be angry, Sam? Would you be angry?
No, give me the reasons why they're angry.
Would you be angry if you listen a conversation that talks about how children were burned in a church and laughing and muting political musings on how to choreograph that conversation to fit a political competition? I would be angry no matter if I was told about, you remember how people were burned in Naivasha, you know? You remember what happened in Kiambaa Church. You remember how policemen hacked young people in Kericho, in Kisumu, in Kibera, in Mombasa. If you found any leader, not just a leader, any citizen of this republic, making fun of that kind of violence, of the manner in which people were killed all over the country in the 2007, 2008 violence, or even in the mandamanos that happened thereafter, and you find that Baby Pendo or any other person who was murdered, or people like my PA who was brutally murdered. If I found someone having that conversation and laughing and joking on how we should choreograph that conversation to fit a particular person, it doesn't matter whether it's a deputy president or it's a who. I think every citizen of this republic, regardless of which political party you come from, is justified to be angry. It is not a joke. We went to Nakuru when we were forming Jubilee Party, and I'm lucky I was a member of I was the lawyer of URP at that time when Jubilee Coalition was formed. And one of the key indicators of why Jubilee was formed is to bring Kenyans together, to end the circle of violence, to create a national outfit that is focused on developing this nation. Actually, President Uhuru Kenyatta, and I believe he meant it, and the Deputy President said that their desire was not to win elections. It was meant to bring the Kenya together. The bedrock of Jubilee Party and Jubilee as an institution is unity of this republic. Any conversation that goes against that makes us as members angry. It makes also citizens of this country angry.
And let's listen to what those leaders had to say in as far as this conversation is concerned, or are speaking at different places yesterday.
As the members of parliament of Jubilee, we will withdraw our monthly subscription to the party of 10,000 shillings per month until Raphael Tuju is fired or resigns from Jubilee Party.
Sisi tukiwa wabunge tunatoanga shilingi 10,000 kila mwezi kusupport chama. Kuanzia Monday hiyo pesa tutasimamisha. Lakini Tuju, your time has come to leave. We cannot allow you to bring down Jubilee.
Tunajua umetumwa na Raila Odinga uje ukomoe chama chetu cha Jubilee.
Mimi kuanzia kesho, I will write to Jubilee National Executive Council to fire Raphael Tuju kutoka Secretary General wa chama ya Jubilee within 1 week.
Nataka niambie Tuju, kama wewe ni mtu mzuri sana na wewe ni mtu uko na demokrasia, funga firago yako leo na utoke katika chama cha Jubilee.
Kiambaa belongs to Kasas and Kapsaret. We are in trouble. Can Tuju come to Eldoret and say sorry and resign immediately?
Wakitaka kutoa Tuju watoe, lakini wajue Tuju was appointed by the president, sio wao walichagua yeye. Na katiba ya Jubilee inasema wale ambao wako acting officials wanakaa miaka 3 from 2017 itaisha 2020. Wagoje waende uchaguzi ya chama ifanyike, wachukue hiyo viti ambao wanataka.
All right, so those are some of the members of parliament, of course, the former vice chairperson of the Jubilee Party, and they're saying that they're going to withhold their monthly contributions as well as they want the Secretary General out. Do you share in those sentiments?
I don't think we should punish the whole party because of one individual. I truly appreciate and understand the concerns of the members about how the party is being managed and their anger towards, because I've explained myself, towards the Secretary General. But some of us sit in the same management. I sit in the National Executive Committee of the party, my colleague in the National Assembly, the whips in both the National Assembly and the Senate, Honorable Caleb Kostanyu is the deputy of Tuju and so forth. So we have a party chair who is also has never demonstrated any kind of bias. So I think as a party, we shouldn't punish our political party because of one individual. We must find mechanisms of disciplining all officials that are going to run against the wishes of the party.
So now you sit at the National Executive Council. Yeah. So what sort of action would you be offering the membership of Jubilee? I
think we shouldn't be too anxious. We should be concerned, but not too anxious. You remember what happened to the Murada situation. I think the party leader handled it very well.
How did he? Rather resigned?
Yes, exactly. Because you think he just woke up and resigned?
I don't know.
No, of course it was because of the action taken by the president, who is our party leader. And I believe with the petitions from the members, I believe that the president will also whip Tuju back to line or take this remedial action to ensure that the party is strong. Let me say something. You know, there are people who have created this impression generally that that maybe the president doesn't like the party, is not even concerned about the party. Let me tell you some. The Building Bridges initiative and the whole issue about uniting the country is founded on this Jubilee Party's manifesto. And the foundation of Jubilee Party is uniting the country. It was just after the 2007-2008 post-election violence, and the president and the deputy came together to unite people who are not talking together. So there is no way President Uhuru Kenyatta can be preparing to dismember a political party that he has built that carries his legacy. Remember when he spoke at State House just the other day to the Harvard professors, he insisted on that issue that we want the future of this country, that his dream is to ensure that competition, political competition, will not be based on ethnicity, but will be based on the issues. And if you look at how Jubilee has been built and molded, it is towards the direction, so that in last elections, unlike many other elections, 2013, 2017 elections, to a great extent, the debate between us and NASA was not about this tribe or the other. It was about who carries which vision for the country. Right. And going forward, I think, and I've told President Uhuru Kenyatta this one, even in public, one of his biggest legacy will have been to build and live a united country. And how to live a united country is to ensure that Jubilee Party as an institution outlives the president and the deputy president and creates room for competition for even presidency and everything, so that in future, ultimately, our nation should have a country that has 1, 2, 3 parties that compete around issues.
But Senator, you speak so well about the Building Bridges initiative now, but of course historically that's not what you have had, you've been saying. Of course you've had the discomfort with the handshake, the political handshake between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. So what is this that is changing that you now speak so well about the Building Bridges initiative?
The Building Bridges initiative is not an initiative of yesterday. As I told you, it is founded on the principle of uniting the country for the president and his deputy from 2007-2008 and thereafter formation of Jubilee. Uniting the country. If you see speeches of deputy president and the president, even way before 2013, they were always insisting that we want to build bridges of friendship. In fact, one of the most repeated quotes of the deputy president is that as a nation we must build bridges of friendship. What I have never, I mean, I think among the top 2, 3 leaders in Jubilee who supported the handshake between the president and the leader of ODM. The only thing is that I have been calling out the hypocrisy of those who came to the handshake with political motive, who have been busy trying to cajole the president to endorse them, who have been busy putting a wage, like for example...
who is asking the president to endorse them?
As you saw, the ODM members are trying to cajole the president to leave his political party and endorse somebody of another political party because they misunderstand the intention of what building bridges was all about. People who have attacked Aisha Juma for working with the deputy president, but not attack Wanga and the others for working with the embrace on issues of the handshake and so forth, have been calling out on their hypocrisy. And those who want to convert the process, the handshake and the unity that is being pursued by the president, the leader of opposition, to become about individual aspirations for political office.
Do you think the president can be lured into falling into such kind of an arrangement?
And an absolute no.
So why are you bothered?
I am bothered because, you know, in politics, you don't want your members to be confused. I have no doubt about the president's intentions. I do not even need to remind President Uhuru Kenyatta where he's going. In any case, he has repeated many times in the public that, you know, this is not about politics, not about 2022, it's not about... And in fact, the president in a media interview in Mombasa insisted and said, when the time comes, everybody will go back to their political party, there will be a competition, but, like he repeated this week, that competition will be around issues. It will be around not ethnicity, nor whatever. And he believes that that is the legacy he will be leaving behind, that his party, competing with other political parties, will be about issues. So I have no problem with the president. But, you know, we have a responsibility as political leaders to put issues straight before members of public, especially when you have a situation like ours, where one individual comes out to interpret the unity of the country for purpose of short-term political gain.
And of course, the other week, that is the Sunday, the other week, we saw the president, a very angry president, at the Akorino conference and speaking several things. And after that, you've heard of the different analysis by different political commentators, and they feel that the president was actually angry at the deputy president. You have yourself on record denied it, but what is the truth in all this? Is there any discomfort? I mean, is the deputy president and the president working the best way possible?
By the way, Sam, and of course I am not at liberty to say everything that I know about the president and the deputy, but when you are with the president and the deputy, if you meet them, or if you were to see them conversing, whether in public or private, you will be shocked about all this conversation about there is a rift between the two of them. My take is that first of all, there is nothing wrong with any human being getting angry, because that is part of emotions. And the president, we would have wished, of course, we always wish that the president should be in his best moments, not find himself in the situation he found himself in Kasarani. I've told you in the interview we had that I am a bit disabled in analyzing what he said, because my language, my understanding of Kikuyu language is very limited.
But you have
no, I'm saying it's limited, but I understand the president saying that people should stop politics and work. And that has been the same message for the deputy president. That has been my message, all of us. We must stop politics and work.
What is this that you've been doing when you go around the country and speaking on the political podium? Preaching
unity, like we do together. I've seen the former prime minister do that. I've seen the president address public about preaching unity when he goes around the country. We've been to Harambee with the president. I've seen the former prime minister was even in Harambee in Wajir, sometimes when you are invited. And by the way, Sam, nobody organizes Harambee for themselves. It's the citizens that organize and say, we want support, that come please support us. So when you find yourself in that public podium and you're telling people, we want to build the country together, we want to deliver on our vision, we want to do this, we can't do politics now because the time for political campaign has not started, and it is defined in an act of parliament. And by the way, I haven't seen even a single person doing any politics in this country.
Let's listen to what you said alongside other leaders on the 16th of June. I believe you are in your county, Elgeyo Marakwet, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have that up, son?
Mesikia juzi kwa wengine wanauliza endorsement ya mheshimiwa rais. Na nataka, sababu Uhuru Kenyatta anatoka huko kwetu Kiambu, niwaambie Uhuru Kenyatta ni mngwana, he's a gentleman. Yeye sio a political conman.
Kama wewe umetembea, umekuja mgeni, umekuja kufanya kazi na sisi, lazima ukae katika mienendo na tabia ile ya umoja, kwa sababu mheshimiwa rais Uhuru Kenyatta, and I can speak for President Uhuru Kenyatta, and I will speak for President Uhuru Kenyatta until the day he contradicts me. I am going to say in this platform, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta endorsed William Ruto long time ago. He has not changed his mind. His mind is in the same place, and I am speaking on his behalf.
Na sisi kama chama ya demokrasia tutafuata yale wanachama wa Jubilee watatuamuru. Tuende left, tutaenda left. Tuende right, tutaenda right. Lakini amri tulipatiwa na wananchi wakati walitupigia kura 2013, 2017. Walituambia mambo mawili. Tuunganishe Wakenya wote kutoka jamii zote na dini zote na sehemu zote.
So, Senator, you said that you've been uniting the country, not politicking. Yeah. But when I listen to you, that is politics. You're saying that anybody who comes into your fault rather, has to comply with the rules of the game. Absolutely. Isn't that politics?
If you saw what's the rules of the game, I said he must comply with the desire to unite the country. Yeah, and the same thing you've been asking me earlier. Am I jittery about the handshake? Those are the concerns I've been raising about the handshake. That when you come to a fold like ours and you find a party that has been working together, it's important to comply with the philosophy. That is the foundation of that party, which is about uniting the country.
So who has come to your party?
Well, as I've said, if you come to a unity with us, like the handshake situation, because it involves our competitors plus ourselves, I think it is important to observe certain rules of the game, and one of which is are we uniting the country, or we are trying to engage in political fights and running a dishonest campaign against because you can't come to a party and say, okay, now we are having a handshake, but this handshake will be confined to the president. We don't like the deputy president. We must get him out. Is this? Is that? Is that? That is really dishonest. And the good thing is that the people of Kenya can see through it. Why do many people across the country are very unhappy with the manner in which our competitors are treating the deputy president? Is because of their hypocrisy.
Who is unhappy?
I'm saying the citizens. When we go around the country, they're saying, no, deputy president, stand firm. We do not believe in those who are running this campaign of you versus them, dividing you with the president. By the way, and that really makes me happy, because it means, therefore, that the people of Kenya are alive to the realities and the political conmanship that has been demonstrated by our competitors. I
asked you a question whether everything is fine between the president and the deputy president. You said that everything is working well, but on June 24th of 2018, you spoke to Hussein Mohammed on Sunday Live, and you said that you see the problem is when we as the deputy president and the president, if there's a problem, they say there's no problem. But for me, things are not working the way they should be. Then there is a problem. That's what you said. Then when I spoke to you, I think last week, you said that the president should project an image of unity and to inspire confidence. There seems to be something taking place at the State House of concern to us. So clearly, everything is not well.
Did I say everything is not well between president and deputy? No. I said, even my interview said, because I remember very well, I said there is a problem in the country. There is a problem of communication. There is a problem of
not in the country. You were speaking specifically about the president and the deputy.
Let me just say there. For example, that time we were talking about lifestyle audit. And I insisted that who is coming with this agenda? There must be some people somewhere who are cooking, and in that interview I was very clear, who are cooking certain policy directions that are not sold to everybody, and then they are ad hoc in nature. And I remember insisting that we don't even have the legal framework. I am happy that 1 year down the line, the president came to Parliament and says we want to put a legal framework in place that will deal with, which is not yet done. Number two, when you talk about the issues, even the one I told you, I don't want to see my president angry all the time in public. And I'm glad that that was one off. I would never want to see the president, being so worked up. And I told you even in that interview, being a second-term president, his focus should be the legacy. Allow those because there are some who are not holding any office. They want to do what they want to do in politics there. The president must be assisted to remain, to achieve that which he wants to do in his legacy period. And I think it's our duty as members of Jubilee and citizens of this republic to do everything that is possible to facilitate an environment where Jubilee Party will leave a legacy for the country.
And so when you talk about that there is unity at the top, why don't we have a parliamentary group meeting, and what avenues are you using to ensure that there is a possibility, a platform for members to meet and resolve all the concerns that you have?
I suspect because I suspect the president was spending time to navigate the Building Bridges initiative first, which requires a lot of appreciation and understanding of so many people,
which you haven't supported him on.
Well, as far as possible, we have supported the president.
No, you've been criticizing it.
No, there's that what. In fact, the greatest support to the president is criticizing it, because if it goes wrong, if anything goes wrong, you only become you add value if you can be able to voice a critique where you have reached as an initiative. But the point I'm trying to make is that I suspect that has derailed the president's opportunity to come and call us. The former prime minister has managed to be holding his party meetings, preparing his party, talk about politics, attack the deputy president, secretary general insulting the deputy president, the deputy secretary general, deputy party leader Joho saying that the former prime minister has told us don't work with deputy, attack him and so forth. So they have managed to continue running their corner, their ODM party propaganda and political plans. The president has been restrained because he knows for sure if we meet, we are meeting as partisan entity preparing for the next elections. And that's what's causing jittery among members, because they are saying it's like we are being told we tie the Jubilee Party around a tree, and then the other one, you tether one cow and then allow another cow to graze all over, So the former prime minister has the freedom to have his cake and eat it at the same time, which means he can still say we're uniting the country and attack the deputy president and attack Jubilee Party at the same time. Because of the precarious and complicated position of the president, we find ourselves tethered in the affairs of running our political party.
Right, we need to close on this because the president and the deputy, when we were speaking in Eldoret during the reopening of Rivertex, they said that it's time to get work. That was specific from the deputy president, saying that tuko upande wako mbele nyuma. So are we seeing the end of the Tanga and Kieleweke groupings within your party?
Well, I think to be very honest to some, we have no control of what is Kieleweke. At least we have control of the rest of the Jubilee Party.
No. Tanga?
Tanga is not, when people say this group is called Tanga, it's an insult on the president. Because the president, which has said the deputy is going to move around the country to inspect the projects. Yes, at a Tanga, that's fine. But his intention was not to be used in a derogatory manner.
No, that's not wrong.
And let me just say this. And this is the thing that should differentiate everything. Those you people have labeled as Tanga have been the people that have been who say that the president and the deputy is one thing. The only thing that we have absolutely no control is those who say we only recognize the president, we don't recognize the deputy. What we can
I don't know whether they have said that.
Of course. Because
no, we need to finish. I'll hold you accountable as far as Tanga.
Why would you call me Tanga?
Because you've been moving. I'm not calling you Tanga.
No,
I'm
saying ask you.
That you've been moving.
Why?
Well, you've been moving with the people. Okay, you've been moving with the people that support the ambition of deputy president.
But who doesn't support the ambition of deputy president?
I don't know. I'm just talking about.
No, let me just ask you. Do you think the president doesn't support the ambition of deputy president?
I wouldn't know.
Yes. So the point the point is this. The point is this. And so that we conclude this one, because it's been misunderstood all over the country. The people you have labeled Tanga, and I insist labeled Tanga, are the people who have remained with the party, who argue, let me just conclude that, who argue that the president deputy is one thing. A few of our friends have strayed away. And by the way, if you want to say Tanga is moving around, our same friends who have been attacking the deputy president and calling themselves Kieleweke have been moving around the country. So it means everybody is tanga-tanga. Because if that is the argument, if moving around, doing arambes and talking politics is the word tanga-tanga, then it's everybody.
So from the side of view that you agree, you view things the same, will that moving around stop?
I am completely...
no, the people you affiliate with, will that moving around and politicking stop and now focus on
Why would
work?
it stop? Why would it stop? Why would uniting the country stop? Why would the visiting people stop? Why would we going to do Arambe in a particular place stop? Do you want to tell me that the president now will stop moving around the country? It would be a fallacy. And I think people who want to attack the deputy president or the people who support both the president and the deputy, because those of us who are stuck with what Jubilee philosophy is all about, a unity of the country, and who believe that the president and deputy is one thing. If you want to attack us, you must find the basis of that attack, because you can't say don't move around the country. Everybody, everybody in the political circle is moving around the country. Everybody is doing Arambe. Everybody. So the things you are attempting to attack us on are actually nefarious.
All right. Thank you so much, Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, the leader of majority of the Senate. Thank you for making time for us. We need to close.
If you give me 1 second.
Yes.
I've just lost my my PA, a friend of mine who was a former MCA, and it's something that I really want to say one word about it. I believe that my friend was extrajudicially killed, and I believe that it was terrible that he was abducted on a broad daylight when the president was in town. I want to send my condolences to the people of Elgeyo Marakwet. I was there with their family, and I still call upon all the leaders, including those of us in Parliament, that we must look at this issue of assassinations and extrajudicial killings with a bit more detail and ask ourselves why now, and who is doing it, and why are we finding ourselves in this situation.
Okay, all right. Condolences to the family and yourself, because you worked with him. So thank you so much for your time. Of course, I wish we had more time to engage on that. You've refused the tag tanga-tanga, but you said that the action continues. Up next is action with Willis Raburu on Sporty Monday with his panelists. They'll be talking about everything football, matters football, including that defeat of Harambee Stars 2-0 versus Algeria. Back in a moment.